Vel absolutely loves playing competitive games, and she's even developed a dream of winning a major tournament. But right now, that dream feels out of reach because it requires a lot of free time, and she simply doesn't have any. Her father, Carlos, keeps reminding her that she's been out of work for a while. He even managed to arrange a job interview for her. Vel is forced to agree, but as soon as she leaves the house, she quickly changes clothes. Her boyfriend, Evan, also believes that finding a new job is important, and he finds it strange that she'd skip the interview for a tournament. But Vel replies that she'll just call them and say she's feeling unwell. Her chances of winning drop quickly, especially when she finds out her opponent is the best player out there, Kilohertz, a legend whose phenomenal skills earned him spots on the big screens and glossy magazines. Despite everything, Vel has no intention of giving up, and she sits down at the table. The match begins, and Vel quickly starts racking up points, showing clear dominance. Kilohertz keeps getting distracted here and there, and only a few seconds remain until the game ends. Vel only needs one more kill to secure victory. In fact, the win is right in front of her, but she sees Kilohertz and decides she wants to win by taking down the legend himself. Unfortunately, she falls into a trap and hands him the win. It feels like his reflexes are beyond human. Evan tries to comfort her, reminding her that she almost won. Then Kilohertz interrupts them, mocking Vel. After he leaves, Kazuma approaches Vel and offers his help, promising that if she uses his services, she will definitely win. Back home, Carlos scolds her for her reckless actions. Not only did she skip the interview, but she also forgot about her grandmother. He tells her there's another interview scheduled for tomorrow, but Vel tries to explain that tomorrow is the final stage of the tournament where she could earn some good money. But for Carlos, money isn't the most important thing. He simply hates being lied to by his daughter. Hours later, Vel heads to the address Kazuma gave her. It's a small place. Then, at Kazuma's gaming club, he asks Vel to play a game at the highest level of difficulty, a level where she didn't stand a chance of winning. Then, he shows her a vial containing a strange liquid. He claims that just a single capful is enough to elevate a person's reaction time to a whole new level. What once felt impossible now moves in slow motion. Suddenly, Vel finds herself seated at the game table. But this magical liquid has a minor side effect. Once it wears off, she'll forget everything that happened while under its influence. If she wants, he'll sell her the bottle for $100. At first, Vel refuses. It's nearly all the money she has. But then Kazuma shows her a photo of Kilohertz, and she takes the bottle. A new day begins. Vel drinks the liquid and starts taking down every player. The reason Kilohertz was so powerful is because he too was using the same substance. But this time, he loses to Vel. Sensing victory, Vel has a brilliant idea. She drinks the entire bottle. The effect lasts so long that when she finally wakes up, she finds the world has changed. The future is here, and everything is in ruins. And she has a family. Evan is now her husband. But he notices something off about her behavior. Vel panics and runs outside, confused about what's going on. Evan chases after her to hand her a gas mask, reminding her they have a long day ahead scavenging for useful junk. Their daughter calls out to them, excited about finding a piece of dried poop that she thinks is a pretty R, and asks Vel to keep it safe until she returns from school. But the school is located right in the yard, and the teacher instructs the kids to run if they ever see a death lizard. A girl runs up to Vel and calls her sheriff. She says a man has appeared who forgot 8 years of his life. His name is Den, and he's known as one of the separated. People like Vel who don't know where they are. It turns out the apocalypse happened because people overused the magical liquid, including the president himself, who accidentally pressed the red button. Vel must decide what to do with Den, but since she doesn't know the local rules, she suggests they exile him from the community. Once things calm down, Evan asks what she wanted to tell him earlier. Afraid he'll think she's also one of the separated, Vel just says she has a stomachache. Suddenly, the alarm sounds. Everyone must quickly put on their gas masks. Vel wants to find her father and ask him what she should do now, but instead, she finds only a jar of ashes. Den knocks at the door and reminds her that it's her turn to clean the toilets today, before she can even enter the house. She's also tasked with babysitting the children. The days fly by in a tiring, repetitive cycle. Sometimes she guards the gate or charges up the batteries. After several days, Vel returns home to find Evan playing her favorite game. She gets so into it that she doesn't notice the hours passing and forgets to show up for her guard shift. Evan rushes in, shouting that Den was killed by a death snake, and begs for the gate to be opened. But no one is there. Vel returns to her post and blames herself for Den's death. She quickly grows tired of this life. Ivan encourages Phil, telling her she has always been a very responsible person, and that this mistake doesn't mean anything. Still, Phil writes a farewell letter and leaves. The next day, Ivan finds the letter, in which Phil confesses she has become one of the Impulsniks, and since Impulsniks are not allowed to live with others, she decided to leave on her own. The land around the settlement was full of people like her. Phil manages to reach the Electronic Games Club, and inside she finds Kazuma, who hasn't changed at all. He tells her they have electricity thanks to solar panels, and realizes that the effect of the liquid, the Gegia, only recently wore off. Phil starts blaming Kazuma, accusing him of ruining her life. But Kazuma replies that he can't undo what happened, and that there are other Impulsniks who come to this place. He offers to give her the liquid as a loan. He says that life in the club is the best option, because the real world is terrible. Life is hard and short, and death is painful and long. Just one sip of the liquid, and she'll be back to doing what she loves. Phil asks, "What if I die from the liquid?" Kazuma replies that won't happen unless she lives to be 100. To further encourage her, he says he has her favorite game and leads her to the gaming area. Phil is about to give in, but then she sees a drawing from her daughter with the words, "My hero." Glimpses of her new life flash before her eyes, and Phil decides to return to the settlement. Ivan thinks she only came back because life outside was too hard. But Phil shows him the drawing and swears she'll do everything she can. Still, Ivan feels sad because he has spent his whole life with a girl who no longer remembers anything. Suddenly, the alarm goes off. Monsters are attacking the settlement. People flee in panic, but Phil refuses to let the settlement be destroyed.
She gathers everything she can use in battle, and is shocked to discover that the Death Lizards are actually humans, and their leader is Kilohertz. Kilohertz promises to destroy everyone she loves. The wasteland has changed him, turned him into a monster. Phil throws the empty Gegia bottle, and Kilohertz immediately understands what she's about to do. Time slows down for Phil, and every move she makes becomes incredibly precise. She blows up explosive barrels, disarming the attackers, then picks up their weapons and counterattacks. Still, one of them hits her, and Kilohertz decides this is the perfect moment to finish her off. But she dodges and manages to kill him. With her last strength, she fires a flare to signal that the place is safe, then dies. And that's how the series ends.